On the table right here, I've got two of the most premium cameras that you can buy, the Leica M11P and the Hasselblad X2D Mark II. Whatever your assumption or opinions are about premium cameras, in today's video, I'm going to share with you my experience over the last year using both of these. This one I bought with my own money. This one was sent to me by Hasselblad. I did get to keep it and I've used it a ton. And now I think I have enough confidence and hopefully enough credibility to share with you some thoughts I have putting these systems against one another. So we're not going to be talking about tech specs or doing any type of formal review on these cameras. Instead, I'm going to share with you what I think their strengths are and who I think these cameras are for. Now, I've shot these cameras extensively over the last year, but not too often at the same time. One of the times that I did take both cameras with me was when I went to Switzerland last fall. Now, I was making a video there about the X2D, but I was still carrying my trusty Leica M11 and taking photos while I was on that trip with this camera too. So I've got some A/B photos here. And I think you can see just here right in the beginning, even though you're seeing two different systems, I think you're still seeing photos that are great. Like, there's no limitation that the camera held me back from when I was using them on this trip. Whether I was shooting just from the car or out the train window or on a hike, both cameras gave me incredible photos. So let me quickly identify three things that these cameras have in common. The first thing is an incredible build quality. So this is my Leica M11P. It is a Safari, so it's green and it's also made of brass. When you pick it up, you automatically just feel a difference when you hold it in your hand. Every part of this camera is just very well made. You have premium optics, you have great dials, and again, just in the hand, it feels like a really well-built quality camera. But it's not alone in that. Like, the X2D also feels that way. I said this when I got this camera and first used it, but the grip on this camera is the best grip I have ever held in my hand. The finish is premium, really well made. It's a beautiful camera. I think this is the best experience you can ask for if you're looking for a camera full of tech. And in addition to the build quality, the experience you have with each camera is unique unto itself. It's not like any other camera that's out on the market. You can't really compare the two experiences together, but you also can't compare the experience of these two cameras with other cameras that are on the market from Nikon, Sony, Canon, Fuji, or any other brand. The final thing that I want to say about both cameras are just the quality of the photos. When you look at photos side by side from these cameras, you're not going to see some drastic differences because they're both just incredible in the photos that they make. They're quite different because the Hasselblad is a 16-bit sensor, which gives you 65,000 colors, versus the 14-bit sensor, which is going to give you like 16,000 colors. That is a massive, massive difference between the two. And yeah, you're going to notice that if you're editing files from both of these side by side, but when you're looking at your photos and you get them all on display together, you're not going to notice that kind of thing. So no matter what camera system you would use between these two, they're both just going to give you absolutely beautiful photos. Now, before we get any further in this video, let me give you just a little bit of context. You're not going to find me in a studio with portraits, which I know is a strength of this camera. And you're not going to find me doing a ton of classic street photography, which is a strength of this camera. Instead, you mostly find me wandering into places in the West, mining camps, ghost towns, things that I like to call human remains, but not dead bodies. That'd be pretty dark stuff. I love photographing nature and beautiful places, but not because I love landscape photography, but because I love documenting the current state of things. Because things are always changing. You think about something like Ansel Adams, you can't go get that Snake River photo anymore. That same spot doesn't look like that anymore. So as I talk about the strength of these two cameras, it's coming from the position of a documentary photographer. When I started shooting a Leica M, it was for fun. I was doing real commercial paid work with a Sony and a Canon before that. Zippy autofocus, focused on the client, their needs and all those things. And when I wanted to go out and have fun as a photographer, I had a Leica M6. So why was an M the fun camera? Why was it eventually the one I was able to use full time? It's because of the process of manually focusing, the slow process of using a Leica that you can't put AFC and just track and bust high-speed photos. Like all of the reasons that you would think would make photography easier are actually obstacles to me. Using a camera that is fully manual requires you to be present. You can't let the camera do all the work because the camera is incapable of doing the work. So if you want the work to get done, guess what? You have to do it. And if you like doing the work, this is probably the system you want over a camera like this. Now, I mentioned I used to do commercial work with normal cameras, a camera like a Sony. Fantastic cameras at doing the work for you. And with commercial stuff, I wasn't super passionate about a lot of the jobs that I took. They were just, a means to an end. So I didn't mind the camera doing the work for me then, but for fun stuff and for stuff that matters to me, I want to do the work. And this is a camera that requires you to do the work. Another thing that I just absolutely love and find as a major strength of a Leica M is the size of the camera. I mean, this is a small system. It's easy to carry it. It can go in a small bag. You can take several lenses with you because the lenses, they just aren't big. This is my favorite lens. It's a 35 Summilux. It all packs up really tight, really easy. It's compact, and it's not intimidating. I've taken this camera into 49ers games before. It's not intimidating. Nobody looks at this camera and feels like there's anything really serious happening, even though it's a very serious camera. So I really love the size of this camera, and if that resonates with you, then this is probably the type of system that would be better for you than something like this. The third strength I want to tell you about with a Leica M really just comes down to variety. So I mentioned I've got a 35 Summilux on here. That's my all-time favorite lens and the lens that I use the most for basically anything. But let me show you two other 35s. This is a Zeiss Biogon 35, and this is a Light Lens Lab 35. These are three 35mm lenses, but they are drastically different from each other in the type of photos that they make. I think this lens, this Biogon, is probably the most medium format looking lens that exists on an M. This is a vintage remake of the Leica double aspherical. I would call this a character lens. And this 35 Summilux that's on it is like an everyday lens. It can do everything. That's why I use it. I love that it can do anything, anywhere, at any time. So if those things resonate with you, then a Leica M is probably the premium camera that's gonna resonate the most with you. Okay, so maybe you want to experience these cameras out in the field or try your own hand at some documentary photography. If so, I've got a couple of workshops that are coming up later this fall. There's still a few spots left. We'll be going to Jackson Hole to Grand Teton, and we'll be going to Springdale to Zion. It's going to be an incredible experience for those that attend. So be sure to check out this QR code that's on the screen and the links below to find out about the upcoming workshops. And if you have any questions, be sure to reach out. I'd love to see you this fall. So hit those links below, check out that QR code, and hopefully I'll see you out there. So just as I shared 3 unique reasons I would choose a Leica, let me tell you 3 unique reasons I would choose the Hasselblad X2D Mark II. Now we're just coming off of a conversation about the lenses and variety on the Leica. The Hasselblad, you're going to have a lot of consistency with your looks, whether you're shooting the 38, the 55, the 90, older Hasselblad lenses, or one of the few third-party lenses that you can put onto this camera. Apart from some vignetting differences and obviously the difference between focal lengths and apertures, you're going to have incredibly sharp, high resolution photos, no matter what lenses you use. So if you like to shoot with a variety of focal lengths, whether you're using something like the 35-100 or you had a set of V primes, all of your photos are gonna look very much consistent with each other, no matter the lenses you're using on this system. Whereas on a Leica, you could have a Leica 35 Summilux and a Leica 50 Summilux and have 2 very different looks. Tech really defines this camera in a lot of ways. There's a lot of tech in this camera. This camera does a lot of things. One of the most innovative things about this camera is the IBIS. I had this reel completely go bananas on Instagram where I showed that you can handhold this camera for several seconds and get a sharp photo. Now I was shooting in natural light, no ND filters, and I had to push the aperture to like f32 to demonstrate this. But you can handhold this camera for 3-4 seconds and it'd be tack sharp. Now, I've personally never experienced anything like that in any other camera. That feels like a very unique technological achievement on the X2D Mark II. Now look, we know there is a relationship between photographers and the love of technology. I mean, that's how they sell us new cameras all the time with incremental improvements. We love new tech. This camera is a technological beast. Okay, so I think photographers, we love to watch things that we don't necessarily have access to, and that's one thing I love about YouTube. One of my favorite things to watch on YouTube are people in the UK doing photography in like the northern part of the UK and Scotland, or maybe in Wales. And one thing I often see on those channels is them using this camera in the rain. Now I imagine if you like to shoot in adverse weather conditions, this is not going to be your friend. I have no problem with this camera in the rain. And apparently neither do people that take photos in Scotland either. Weather sealing can be a really big deal depending on the type of photography you do, when you want to photograph, and where you want to photograph. And if weather sealing is important to you, then this camera is probably the one that's for you. The purpose of this video today was really just to try to be helpful in helping you understand who these cameras might be for. These are two very premium, very elite cameras on their own. They cost a ton of money. So whether you're watching this video to get a better understanding of what these premium cameras are all about, or you're just looking to be affirmed because you have one of these cameras or both of them and you're trying to figure out how you're going to use them, I really hope that this video helped you out today. On my website and social media, you can explore so many galleries and photo sets made on both of these cameras and also other cameras too. I've got links below and a QR code right here that can connect you to those things if you want to explore a little deeper and see the types of images that come out of cameras like these. I'd love to hear your thoughts about which one of these systems better resonates with you and why, so drop a comment below and let me know. As always, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.